Hi guys. Oops, where am I going? Going backwards. Just taking the 3 troublemakers out. I don't usually take, well, I haven't taken Sally for a while. So, we've got Sally in the back there. Dave and Timmy. We've got loads of quints on the floor, so I'm going to have to pick them up and make some jam. Maybe I could record the process and then when I go to my friend's house, then edit and then show you. Hang on, I have to open the gate. And navigate the slalom of quints. I just woke up recently, so I haven't ironed my face out yet. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Hang on. Oh, this tight lane, you have to be careful coming out. Why can't you cut those long pauses? Don't you know my attention span is as small as an ant? Well, this is good for you, watching long form, people rambling and natural. What the hell is going on here? Sorry about that. This camera is wobbling all over the place. Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, so what was I going to say today? Yeah, I'm just recovering from an evening of sneezing my brains out. I think the straw that broke the camel's back was the yogurt, the whole milk yogurt I got for my friend. And of course I bloody tasted it, and it tasted delicious because I don't usually eat dairy. I tell you, dairy is delicious. I understand how people, you know, have difficulty avoiding it. Cheese, for example, bloody hell. I had a block of, not a whole block, but thick slices of cheddar cheese with some white bread and ham. All the things I'm not supposed to have. But there was nothing in the house. And the veggies I got, the veggies are more than a week. The vegetables I took from my friend's house. Carrots, onions, things like that. Potatoes. They're not supposed to have potatoes anyway. So I have to get back on track and see if I can. I got out of the way for the lady. She doesn't even thank me. I got out of the way onto the rocky, muddy bit. I think some people are just focused on driving. They don't. I could have. What I'm saying is, if I stayed on the road, I could have made her squeeze. But I got out of the way onto the rocky. Oh, there's a rocky area. There's a muddy area. And just ghosted me. So yesterday I was talking to somebody on the phone and had a really nice conversation. The thing is, I spoke for about an hour or an hour and a half, and like in the evening and even today, I still feel exhausted. Do you feel like that when you talk to someone? I couldn't do this every day. Not that it's a chore or anything, it's actually exciting, and that's the problem, because, you know, I'm not sure if it's ADHD or a combination of factors, several factors. I was bloody close. ADHD, you know, you tend to get excited, but the fact that I don't see people. I've got the social anxiety as well, which used to be called social phobia. I don't get to see people during the week. And so when I go to the supermarket, for example, I'm a diarrhea of ideas and small talk. You know, I like talking. As I said in my videos in the past, my uploads in the past, you know, just like those old ladies or old men who don't see anybody for a week, and then they do their shopping, and they beat the hell out of your ears. I was going to say they grape your ears, you know. I think it's called social hunger. You know, when you're really hungry, to conversational hunger, or, you know, when you're really hungry and you want to have that social contact, any chance you get, you know, you kind of burst. The dam bursts, and you're a diarrhea of talk. And I noticed this when I was a kid with a lady. I used to call her Auntie Pina. And, you know, she was alone. And she used to go to Shepherd's Bush Market, take the bus. You can see her, she's quiet, but as soon as she arrived at our place, bloody hell. And kind of used to take the piss, but not in front of her, of course. But now I understand, because it's happening to me. It's happened to me for years, and in China I can get away with it because people want to speak to a foreigner. Oh, look at that foreigner! I want to speak to him, because they want to have a chance to practice their English, right? They get free vocabulary, not vocabulary, conversational English, you know, free oral English lessons, in a way. So they practice their English, and it's a benefit to them. You can talk about anything. But here in the UK, it's different. You know, you're invisible. You're just a normal person, and you're not that trophy that Westerners tend to be in these Asian countries, in the Far East, Southeast Asia. Sorry, yeah, Far East, China. Places like that, Japan. But now it's changed. I think many of these countries are fed up of Westerners. I went there when Westerners were how do you say? It was rare to see a Westerner. Like in the year, is it 1999 to 2000? That winter, I went there, and you know, people look at you as if you've got two heads. But apparently there's a story of a black lady going there. She was a bit plump, and there was like in Xining, which is the northwest, the capital of the northwest province of Qinghai, and there was like a group of people following her, and looking like that. Never seen a black woman. And she was quite plump as well. I mean, yeah, you see plump women. Well, now you do. All those McDonald's, KFC, what they call it. Maidanlao, Kunturgi. KFC is called Kunturgi. And McDonald's is called Maidanlao. So, another thing I noticed is here in the West, like in China, I would talk to children in the KFC, in the McDonald's, you know, and parents would like give me their children to play with, like to talk to, speak in English. You know, I used to do drawings with them. I used to ask the staff if there's any paper, and they gave me paper, and they used to do drawings with them. Once there was almost like a mini class in the KFC. All the parents left, and there was about 2 tables. I put them all together. I had about 8 children. It was surreal. It was weird. 8 children. I was playing with them, teaching them English through my art. I was doing block words and colouring them in. You know, there's block words in 3D, and they loved it. And I used different colours. I had about, I think it was 6 children. It was really fun. They were taking photos and all that. You know, you meet children in the street, like their parents, even adults. They're playing badminton. I say, can I play it? And then you can play with a teenager there. I went to the university. I wasn't even a teacher. I went to the university and played with a lot of the girls. You know, and they were 18, 19, at that age. Played badminton with them. With the boys, they would tend to be more competitive. They used to smash the ball at me, whereas the girls, like, you throw it up in the air, you know. So I would get a good workout, but with the boys, it would end really quickly. So I like playing with the girls that are more nicer to me. But you can't do that here. You can't do that in the West, you know. You go up to a child and say, oh, hi, how are you? Already there's alarm bells ringing in that mum or dad's brain. You go to the KFC and you're doing drawings. You can't, there's no child that's going to come up to you because you're not different to anyone else. You're the same as anyone else. In fact, you look like a criminal. Any man that starts talking to a child is considered a bit weird, and you know, this is actually wrong. It's so wrong, because an adult man should play with children. What the fuck are you talking about? It's because we are so brainwashed. An adult man and an adult woman should play with children because they're wonderful. They're lovely. They bring out the kind of youth in you. It's nice to talk to younger people, but also to children. It's normal. There's nothing wrong. But we're worried about the abnormal, the nonsense, those kind of people. You know, I get it. I totally get it, because here you have a lot of these nonsense, these pedos. There in China, it's like, as I said in the other video about trans, it's unheard of. You know, if they think that you're doing something to their child, you're dead. So it doesn't come into their, you know, it doesn't come into the conversation. So, you know, there are 2 differences there when it comes to children. You know, you can play with children in China. It's normal as it used to be. You know, people say, no, it's a bit weird, isn't it, talking to children? No, it was never bloody weird. It was never weird. It only became weird when you realize that there are men or even women who like to more than play with children. And this is part of our sick culture. It's not part of any culture. Yeah, but you see it more and more. First, our culture, our traditional culture, changed from man, woman. Then, in the 1970s, two men weren't allowed to kiss on the street. They knew of homosexuality. We knew about it, but it was illegal to show your affection, snog in the street. You can be arrested, And then it was, not only was it allowed, I watched an old sitcom, I think it was Rise and Damp, and he said something like, it's illegal, because it was illegal at the time, and he was talking about labor. Knowing your lot, it will be compulsory in the future. And it's kind of like that. In Hollywood or in certain areas, certain walks of life, if you're black or gay or Jewish, I had to throw that one in. You're more successful because you're more cool. Throw into that now trans or what the fuck has this got to do with anything? Just fucking wait. I'm churning ideas out as I speak. Oh, okay, I got it. So, it's this sick modern society, this wicked world, absolutely wicked world. And the reason why I say it's a wicked world is because I'm not sure, the left or progressive, these progressive ideas, they're actually regressive, they're not progressive. You introduce, when it comes to sexuality, they were fighting for their rights, their gay rights. And all right, fair enough. And they got their gay rights. Now, it doesn't stop. You give them an inch and they take your whole arm. They take a mile. So, not only is it legal for two men to love each other. Okay, all right, it's legal. You can get married, and now you can adopt children. And now that is a problem. Why is it a problem? You can have two fathers. Yeah, but you don't have a mother, do you? One acts as a woman. What is the woman anyway? You see, you get into these spirals of madness. What is a woman? What do you mean, what is a woman? A woman is a person like my mum, my auntie, who can give birth to live young. What do you mean, what is a woman? It's such a stupid question. It's like saying, what is a man? Well, just look down and you see your certificate. That's what a man is. It's simple as that. People around the globe for centuries, and even now, that's how they think. It's only here in our modern societies that are brainwashed with this communism, modern communism, cultural Marxist, progressive, political correctness, wokery, that we forget what reality is. All you have to do to step into the past, is go to backward countries, go to Africa, go to Asia, go to Russia. In Russia, it's illegal to be gay. And I think was it Uganda? Bloody hell. No, I laugh because they're quite brutal there, I think people are even K-worded there. So I disagree with anybody being K-worded. I don't have that viciousness, Well, anyway, going back to the reason why people are afraid is because even though of course it's illegal, pedos exist, and they exist because it's part of this LGBTQ. Yeah, I can understand. I can hear some of my relatives. Jacob, you're going too far now. You're going too far now. I haven't gone fucking too far. I know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a bloody slippery slope. First, you allow gays, which is not part of the normal sexual behavior. You have a man and a woman, okay? Gays and bisexuals existed for millions of years. but it's not part of the norm. You can't have gays. It's not part of evolution. Like some people say, well, you have gay animals, don't you? In nature, you've got it as well. Yeah, but that's a kind of a sign of dominance, a sign of like when they put another animal down. Because I remember our cat, what's his name, Jimmy or something? No, Bruno, I think his name was, a ginger cat. And one day I could hear screaming from the top of our shed in the back of the garden. I can hear meow, meow, like bloody screaming, meow. And then I saw with my own eyes. There's the local tomcat, like the boss, the bully. He was on top, going ooh, ooh. It was making some strange noises, and he was basically on top of our cat was here. He was on top of the cat, on top, making that movement. Fucking bastard. So I got one of those stones. You fucking... No, I didn't. It was one of those mud stones that, you throw it on the concrete or whatever and it completely obliterates. It's just dried mud. So I picked it up and fucking flung it, and he disengaged. Our poor cat afterwards was... Basically, it's a sign of dominance. So that tomcat was dominating our cat. Was it technically gay? Yeah. You see? If it exists in nature, it means there's a reason. What fucking reason? It's just a reason to, as I said, dominate. And as a predator, you can do things like that. You can do what you want. You can grape and stuff like that. But you can't do that. Well, you can do that. A human being. Are you saying that, I don't know, a man robs a house and then he instead of robbing, he robs a house and he, because he's a predator and he's stronger than the woman in the house, he grapes her. It's just nature. Yeah, it's nature, but it's bloody illegal, and you can get killed for that. You should get killed for that. Yeah. So just because it has no evolutionary reason, like the tomcat on top of another male cat can't produce any offspring. So what's the purpose? So basically it's a sign of dominance and a sign of aggression. Things that, maybe we should be, I'm not saying not engaged in, but we're human beings. We're higher animals. Some of us are. Not me, but I'm trying to be. But yeah, so you have gays here. This is a slippery slope. Gays, bisexuals, this is kind of the same area. And then you have, then you started to have like gays, bisexuals, lesbians. So it's LGBT. Lesbian, gay, okay, like 1970s. LGB, bisexual, yeah, roughly the same time. And you'll be LGBT, trans, Q. What the fuck is Q? Queer. I thought queer was gay. So queer means kind of weird. So basically it's someone that does everything. So LGBTQ plus. So that plus, you have to worry about that. Well, you have to worry about everything, but LGBTQ, LGBT, once you get to the T, you would have thought, well, there's nothing after the T. Then there's Q, whatever that means, like queer. Is it queer? I don't know. Queen? I don't know what the hell that means. LGBTQ plus, not minus, plus. As if it's a positive thing. And one of those pluses is pedos. So, MAPS, or minor attracted persons. If you look at these, when they do these these rallies or these demonstrations, you have the LGBTQ flag, right? And you have that flag which has the colors of MAP. MAP is minor attracted persons, you know, and those are pedos. So people who are attracted by minors. Do you know what the fuck that means? That means minors are, in my opinion, from what I understand, minors are people who are minor, under 15, under 16, because the legal age of consent, I think, in the UK was 16. It may have gone down to 15. I don't know what it is. So below that, I would assume you're a minor. So minor attracted persons. And so you've got that in the flag itself. Why don't they take it out? Because that's what the plus is. That's what the plus means. When people talk about LGBT plus, you know, that's what it means. So basically, all kinds of deviant everything that deviates from the norm. What do you mean norm? Yes, norm. Man, woman, make, child. That's it. That's the norm. So if you want to deviate from that norm, gay, lesbian, trans, was it queer, or I don't know what the hell that is, queer, queen, quirky, I don't know. And then you've got the plus. What is plus? Plus. No, it just means all the 84 genders that come after it. I've seen some of these genders like was it chocolate cake gender? Because I'm tasty, soft, and delicious. What the fuck is that? That's not a gender, is it? Is that a gender? Gender bender. Oh, right, okay, all right, that's a gender. Like, might as well be a dog. Strong, hairy, and full of bark. Fucking hell. You can make up anything you want. Okay, well, if it's for fun, I suppose, and they want to have some deviating kind of sexual activity, but there's only... Yeah, people get confused with gender and sex. There are two sexes, male and female. And they say that gender is different. Like, you can have like 1,000 genders. It's unlimited how many fucking genders they can be. Fair enough. But in that deviation or whatever is pedo, minor attracted persons. And in their flag, you'll see, I think there's a pale blue, which is for boys, and then there's a little bit of pink maybe for girls, and then white is for the pedo or whatever, because they're angelic beings, aren't they, levitating above all of us, you know. I mean, we don't know what sex is, or, you know, they know better than us. I don't know, it's just all weird to be. And that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be weird. It was supposed to be different from the norm. Fair enough. If you want to be different, if these people want to be different from the norm, but that's the problem. The problem is society doesn't accept it. It says that it accepts it, and oh yeah, LGBTQ. You know, they had She's laughing. She's got a little doggy in. Oh, there's a little doggy in there. They rolled out this LGBTQ, like a rainbow, what was it? A rainbow, like a welcome area in one hospital. Was it zebra crossing or something? 45 grand. Like, forget about helping some old person, someone with cancer. The NHS spent £45,000 on one bloody thing. How can it be 45 grand? Maybe in a few hospitals or whatever. Just painting a rainbow, you know. I thought that rainbow flag was for the NHS. it doubles up for NHS Plus. Hello, little Yorkshire Terrier. So tiny. That was a mini Yorkshire Terrier, I think. Yeah, so... Oh, yeah. So coming back to the point, they wave their flags, but nobody actually accepts it. They realize it's deviant behavior, it's strange behavior, and it's illegal. There's no two ways about it. Minor attracted persons. If you are attracted to a minor, if you're just attracted, then it's not an offense, but you're kind of reaching a borderline, you know, because if you download videos or photos of minors, I think if you download 1 or 2, it's okay, but if you download 20 or whatever, you have a compilation of videos of minors or photos, then that's illegal. So you're still a minor attracted person, but you're in jail because, you know, the law or society realizes how dangerous this is. But this stuff used to go on in the past, didn't it? You know, you see some guys talk about the Talmud and they say it's an evil book. I'm not defending the Talmud. I'm one of the first ones to say, yeah, there is some evil inside it. But I think there is a problem with that, because I think in one verse of the Talmud or one section, it says, like, when you have intimate relations with a minor, I'm not sure if it's 3-year-old or 6-year-old, use a towel. Maybe it's to protect the girl or to stop the person being... I mean, how a 3 or 6-year-old can't get pregnant, so it must be to protect the child, right? Or something like that. Initially, when I read or something like that, because somebody was talking about it on the video, I would never bloody read it. They said, like, it's evil because this is what they're saying. They're saying this is what you should do. When encountering a minor, this is what you should do. But although on the face of it, it does look evil, and it is evil in my eyes, it's bloody terrible. But in this section, what is the Talmud or the people behind it saying? They're saying, like, be careful, you know, don't damage the girl, or don't. It's trying to look after the girl, you know, because. So what my point is, it was acceptable in those times, like Mohammed or whatever, or God bless Mohammed or whatever, you know, those, sorry, I don't want to say anything bad about Islamic history or people, or someone bloody come after me, but, which I won't say anything, okay? You know, Buddha bless us, you know, I'm on the fence with everyone. I don't want to abuse anyone, because we've got a lot of Muslims in our country, so I don't want to say anything wrong. But in the past, in certain scriptures, in certain religions, or certain customs or whatever, it was known that men would go with younger women. Minors, not younger women, minors, sorry. And it was kind of acceptable. So I think in that section in the Talmud, it's accepting that because it was part of the truth of the time. And it was kind of saying, try and protect these girls, these minors or whatever. I know, sorry, it's sickening. I shouldn't have fucking brought it up. You know, I have to try and dig myself out of this hole now. But what I'm saying is, I thought about that piece in the Talmud, and I don't know. These things maybe were acceptable in the past. These things happened in the past. And so I thought we evolved, and We created this society. You know, you have a family structure. You don't go around children. You know, you don't have it off with someone else's wife. You don't go with other men. It's like the norm, right? If you do anything like that, you're in big trouble. But now it's as if like the gates are open. Gays, not only are they, it's legal, it's like fashionable. They can have children, married, get a divorce. So bisexual, lesbian, trans, you know, and these people can't be touched. You can't say anything, you know, like otherwise you're. And I do kind of understand, because I think people who have gender dysphoria tend to be mentally not unstable, but they're more fragile, you know, maybe because they're doing something that's unacceptable to society. They're looked down upon, and I understand that. But we have to also think of our children. We have to think of our future, and even ourselves. You know, why do we have to? Because if you accept that, you might as well open the floodgates to bestiality as well. You know, I often joke with my friend. You know, I say to her, "I tell you that there's a lot of women have these big dogs in the privacy of their own house. I'm sure they engage in some." She says, "Shut up! Don't say it. I can't even think about it." I bet you they do. I tell you, women are nasty, bloody nasty. Unfortunately, I haven't met any of those nasty women. I haven't met anyone. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. I was rambling on. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about now. Yeah, so basically, in those countries, like in China, you don't have this trans. You don't have men going after minors, or women going after minors. You know, if they knew that you were chasing their children to want to have X with them, they'll bloody kill you. It's like it doesn't come into their mind. I've lived in China. It's very traditional. It's like stepping back into the 50s. Like in 2000 when I went, it's like stepping back into 50s or 60s or 70s. I don't know what happened in the 50s or 60s, but I grew up in the 70s. It was kind of like that in some ways. Now it's very modern, but it's still, the minds of the people is very kind of, they are like traditional back in the like 70s, still 80s or whatever. So yeah, so that's a problem, isn't it? You know, here in the UK, it's more difficult to make friends. In China, it's easier to make friends. You can't talk to children here. You can talk to children there. You know, there you're not going to see, well, I don't know now, but you can see these obvious men with beards and hairy legs, and then a skirt, and talking in a big, you know, deep voice. Obviously, they can fucking kill you, but they're a woman. It doesn't make sense to me. And no woman can bloody intimidate or kill me unless they've got a big machete or a gun. What are they going to do? You know, you see these, is it TikTok videos or videos online? I'm a woman, MMA fighter, the world champion. I can beat any man. Yeah. Give me 10,000 quid. You'll see how you can't beat any man. You can't beat me. I'm a kickboxer. Like you see these women, and they say they can challenge any average man, not a world champion kickboxer, and they'll knock them out. I know it's all to do with ego. It's stirring my ego up, but I'm saying, as a man, if you can't take on even if she's the top woman in the world and beat her, not that you would want to. I wouldn't want to hit a woman. No way. Only if she had a knife, she was nuts and stabbing my family. That's the only reason, that I would put my hands on a woman. Because I know a man can kill a woman just with even a slap can kill a woman. Women are weak. They're fragile. They're not. Sorry, maybe weak's not the right word. They're fragile, and compared to a man. They're like an old man, and you get to a point where maybe a young woman in the peak of her health and the fitness and the strength, can beat an elderly man, like 80s, something like that. Like, because a woman in her prime still can't beat a 15-year-old boy when he starts to get testosterone. And you have these stories where a grown woman gets raped by a 15 or 14-year-old. She doesn't have it in her to beat a male. So these women saying, I'm the world champion kickboxer, I could beat any man. Yeah. I don't think so. I know you're wrong. But you see, in society, we let these people talk. Go, girl. Go for your goals, your dreams. Yeah, go for your goals and dreams, but don't talk shit. Don't talk shit that you can beat any man. You can't beat any man. The thing is, I don't know if these women actually believe that they can beat any man. You know what a man is? The men are bloody dangerous. They're strong. Not like me. I'm not strong or dangerous. But I know, I've seen men, and you can't mess around with some men. Most men, though, they can lift heavy things. They've got that testosterone, that strength that women don't have. Even though women wants to have that strength, they just don't have it. And that's the way things are. That's nature. So going back to nature, going back to what I was saying, you can't do that here. You can't talk to children. You can't, because of these bastards. They fucked everything up for us. Instead of it being like traditional, like, I don't know, in the 1940s or, I don't know, 1930s or whatever, you can speak to children maybe, going back in time when things were normal, when men wouldn't even, mostly men, some women, wouldn't think of the idea of approaching a child to, I don't know, kidnap them and do whatever with them, or, it used to be thought of as absolutely crazy for someone to actually think about doing something like that. You would be executed or you would be put in prison. Now, it's getting closer and closer and closer to being acceptable. What the fuck are you talking about? Well, look, it's in the flag that these people wave. The white, the pink and the pale blue? That's the MAPS flag, or the MAPS, I don't know, logo. Minor attracted persons. What does that mean? They're attracted to minors. They're not going to do anything. Well, imagine gays in the past had probably said, well, I just like, man, I'm not going to do anything. That's when it was illegal. Could you imagine that PDF files is legal? Then it will change to, well, I'm a minor attracted person and I have a right to express my sexuality. Well, they won't be talking like that. They're saying, I've got a right to express my sexuality on a 6-year-old girl. What's wrong with that? And you've got the masses brainwashed saying, he's got a right, she's got a right, why not? If the child is in agreement, the child's parents or guardians are in agreement, why not? You're going to have this kind of fucking thinking. I've told friends for fucking years, and mark my words, LGBT pedo will be. You see, already they've made it kind of respectable. MAP, minor attracted person. Until there are rules whereby it won't be just minor attracted person. It'll be something like, I don't know, like PDF file is has negative connotations. Minor attracted person seems kind of benign until they're allowed to do it. Then it'll be called something else. Or it might remain minor attracted persons because it doesn't sound negative. This is the slippery slope that I'm talking about. And then after that, when minor attracted persons is acceptable, you have to deviate even more. Like bestiality will be called poodle attracted human persons or whatever. Yeah. AAP, animal attracted persons. Then you'll have, you know that Dr. Ruth, that sex doctor. And you have people going to her. She was like psychiatrist, a sex psychiatrist or whatever. Dr. Ruth, I have fantasies of having sex with flaming farm animals. Is something wrong with that? I don't know why you come to me for the smallest of things. Sure, there's nothing wrong. That we're going to reach a point like that. A point like, first, farm animals, then that's not going to be enough. It has to be flaming farm animals. It's like, it just continues. And this is what progressive means. Worse and more deviant, more weird, more, until it gets to the point where people are fed up and, I won't say any more. But the thing is, the people are so brainwashed, aren't they? So brainwashed to accept this stuff little by little by little by little. And then when the flaming farm animals comes along, you think, how the fuck did we get here? Because you accepted this here. And in Russia, people always, like, our media goes on about Russians being so fucking evil, you know. Like you have these reports, Russian planes have crossed into our, you know, the territory of the UK, you know, the border, and so the British jets, you know, come up and like escort them off, right? That's all you hear, but you don't hear from the other side. Like our planes are going onto their border, and then the Russians are escorting them off. Does that happen? We don't know, because all we hear is one side. We hear how Putin is like Hitler, and obviously that's a boogeyman, white boogeyman reference point that you know, you have to envision this person as a demon. And in Putin's Russia, homosexuality is illegal, you know, and I don't know, is there something wrong with that? Or is there something right? A lot of people would agree, a lot of people would disagree, but you can be guaranteed if gay is not accepted, trans, LGBT, MAPS is definitely not accepted. So you don't get to that point of flaming farm animals, you know? What the fuck are you talking about? You don't, the people who say that I'm crazy, or I said this pedo thing years ago, and now I'm saying that farm animals, flaming farm animals, you know, having it off with deceased people, it's gonna go. It's gonna, the slippery slope gets slipperier and slippier. If people don't say anything, then it's just gonna continue, and you have more and more deviant behavior, more weird behavior. And that's it. It has to be more and more weird, because you have to progress more and more. You have to be progressive, you know. That's not fucking progressive. That's regressive. You're like, instead of evolving, you're devolving into a bloody animal, into some crazy animal, not into a human being, an enlightened human being. Oh, you know, I agree with like meditation, you know, prayer and stuff like that. But I don't know. This is all lack of self-control, you know, because normal sex doesn't do it for you, so you look for something else. But that something else you're looking for, maybe it's God. Maybe you can find God within yourself in meditation. and you realize that the happiness is not out there. It's inside here, and you can be happy in a room. You don't have to. Well, he's a man of the world. He's travelled. All these women want to go out travelling everywhere. I've been here to Egypt. I've been there to Thailand. All these fucking photos. So fucking what? So what? Have you been inside your inner geography? Have you been inside your inner landscape? Close your eyes and see and try and find out who the fuck you are. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? No, it's all outward, all let's go to Niagara Falls, take lots of photos, and you spend most of your life force going out there and seeing what you can see. Oh, there's something nice here. Oh, something fantastic. He had sex with a young waiter that picked up. But I think the reality is, the real beauty is inside you, is inside your heart and your mind. A lot of people say, "Oh, it's a load of bollocks," but they will accept the T in the LGBT stuff. They will accept maps. You fucking joking? I'll never accept it. You will accept it. I guarantee you will accept it, because if you don't accept it, you'll be ostracized, and you can't be ostracized because you need to be part of this society. You need to work. You want to be with your friends, because being ostracized in society is like death. I've already gone past that. I've already died. I've bloody resurrected, because I've been ostracized from society for years, decades. So I see it as an outsider. I feel it can be objective. Partly objective. Mostly objective. I don't have friends because I can't have friends. The way I talk, people don't like it. And they think, this person's loony and is a bit not quite the full ticket. I don't want to be the full ticket. Because if being a full ticket means part of, part of the flock, I want to be that Leroy, that black sheep. That's me. I'm black. I want to be the black sheep of all those sheep. I don't want to be a lemming. I don't want to be some animal that is brainwashed by the flute. One guy walking along with a flute and everybody just wake up and see what's happening. People know all this stuff, but they don't really fight it, because maybe they say, okay, well, I'm just one person, what can I do? If I agree, you can't really do anything, but you don't have to accept it. If somebody said to me, do you accept LGBTQ? And I would say I have to legally kind of accept it, but I don't want to. Not because I hate those people. It's because I love myself. I love my own tradition. I love what it means to being a human being. Man, woman, child, family even. The basics, I'm just a very simple person. If you want to deviate from that, that's your business. But don't push it onto me and ask me, like I've said in the past as a joke, someone asks you, would you date a trans? No, I wouldn't fucking date a trans. You're transphobic. Would you date, if a white woman was asked, would you date a black man? No, I don't like black men. You're fucking racist. Or would you date clapped out old Italian bald banger? And I would say, you're fucking Jeroist. You see how absurd it is? It's so absurd. Would you date a a short woman? No, I don't like short women. Well, you're shortest. And that's what women are. They don't, but women get away with it, don't they? Women want someone taller than them so they can get that pain in their neck looking up. But if you ask a woman, Would you date a shorter man? No, I wouldn't date a shorter man. No one's going to say you're shortest, you're sizest, you know. Would you date a man who's less intelligent than you know, that has depression or, you know, almost like a disability, but, you know, he loves you? No, I wouldn't do that. You're ableist. They're not going to say that to a woman, are they? They're going to, all these guilt cards are thrown at men, and men have to learn this self-defense, this, what I call, well, I haven't called it anything, but, you know, these are like, you know, anti-Semitic, xenophobe, shortest, you know, like, and you have to keep like defending yourself, going, no, I've got one Jewish friend, one black guy, you know, I'm not fucking transphobe. You have to keep fucking defending yourself, you know, and it's stressful. It's supposed to like grind you down until you just accept, you know, until you like listen to those Bob Marley or grime music, you know, you've got that fucking that MAPS LGBT you know, badge or whatever to signal to the world, I'm cool, you know, I'm good, you know, I'm part of the progressive whatever it is bullshit. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm exhausted now. Just like when going back to, what was it, 50 minutes ago, I was exhausted when I was talking to that lady. And now I'm completely exhausted. I don't know what this talk was about, but I'll watch it over, then I'll give it a title. I do things the opposite way that I'm supposed to do them. The good thing is I'm exhausted now, so when I go into the supermarket, I won't be graping someone's ear. So I've let it all out. I've graped your ears. All right, guys. I hope this entertained you. I hope this made some sense. Yeah. I don't have hate towards people. It's just it's unfortunate, isn't it? You know, that now, like going back to the, even, I was going to say 70s, but even the 90s, things weren't like this. And it doesn't really affect me because it doesn't, but I'm worried about my kids, you know, and it does affect our children. You know, my oldest daughter, she's already like brainwashed with all this stuff. And my other daughter, she's 12, she's brainwashed. She comes back home saying things like to her brother about sexism and stuff like that. And, you know, he's just joking, and she was saying, I think he's sexist, something like that. And then coming back home with my body, my choice. I thought, what the fuck has this got to do with like maths, English, geography? What, do they teach them politics? My body, my choice. You know, other things like LGBT stuff. You ask them about LGBT stuff, and they say, yeah, it's okay. You know, people have the right to love whoever they want. You know, they frame it that way. Bloody hell. And these teachers are teaching your kids, and they're all like LGBTQ. They're all left wing. That you have a minority of kind of moderate lefties and right wing, but a lot of them are very progressive, and they're teaching your kids. You know, they're teaching the next generation. So I don't know. I've got no idea. Anyway, I better go in and do some shopping because these doggies are bored now. I'll speak to you guys in the next video. As you can see, I'm still kind of, my nose is all red and I'm still suffering from a histamine release. I don't know, I was sneezing my brains out. So I'm kind of drunk. Not drunk from the histamine release, the intolerant symptoms. When I get there, I have to take the histamine tablets. Anyway, hopefully I'll recover. Recover today, and I'm going to go and buy foods that won't give me any problems. No beef or anything like that. some protein, some vegetables, some safe fruits, and that's it. And maybe some gluten-free bread, and I buy for the food for the doggies. See you in the next video. Sorry about my rant. I don't know what the hell I spoke about. Hopefully it didn't insult anybody. If it did, forgive me. Sorry. And if you enjoyed it, okay, speak to you again. Bye.